All right, good day, everyone. Welcome back to another daily analysis with the price action DEX. Now, I'm just going to go straight to the point and tell you, bring back up what I said from the previous daily analysis. I made mention that on the weekly basis, I would want to see price at least trade lower, close bullish for the week. Not necessarily close bullish, but trade lower to an objective I did call out on the daily time frame. Get there soon. So currently now we are rejecting this relatively equal high. More especially the previous week's high, we are rejecting that level, and that's something I was interested in after CPI. Going down to the daily time frame, you can see what we've been doing here. The two major daily PDRs we're watching was this Tuesday's premium week, as well as Monday's discount week. Those two levels were levels I was drawn to, much more interested in. And on Thursday, I called that I would want to see price anchor the high right here. I told you guys I would not want to see price create a new high that will anchor the high of the week, and we're going to reverse to a certain level. And that level was, we have relatively equal highs here, which I also called out, and also this fair value gap. I'm just going to make it this relatively equal high as well as this fair value gap. That was my objective for the rest part of the week. And you can see during Thursday, we did reject, fail to close above the midpoint of this daily week right here. Displaced, taking out the first objective, the retest of this other block right here, and we then sent price lower to the low of Monday, which is the previous week's, or should I say the previous current week low, as well as this fair value gap. Now we've gotten that objective. What would I be expecting going into, let's say, New York section for gold? Now we've gotten our objective. We've created high resistance liquidity levels at both ends of the market, and when we are in such situation, most times price tends to range, trade back to discount premium, trade within a range. You understand? Mostly profitable trades are going to come from aiming at internal range liquidity from within this high to this low. So that would be the first idea I'll be going in with. Now, do not expect an expansion, or should I say breakout from this range right now, from this high to this low. At least not a breakout to the upside. Do not expect such trade, as that's going to be low probability. It's very less likely to occur. It can occur. The market is the market, but it's very less likely to occur. I'm going to expect an expansion lower. It's going to be to the downside. And for my objectives on that, I'll be looking for the quadrants of this week. I won't be anticipating, although that's a relatively clean objective, but we might not get that. So I'll be looking for the quadrants of this week if we do that. But that aside, internal range liquidity are going to be my interest for the meantime. Like sessions highs and lows, 90-minute cycles highs and lows, those are going to be my primary objective going into New York for today. So that's basically it. And before we go, I would want to touch on the dollar index. So the dollar index, basically, yeah, we're still within that range I called out, and we also created a resistance on both ends, sweeping out this low, sweeping out this low high. Now, how do I go about this? You understand? Now we have an objective that we are yet to meet, but I'm not forcing, or should I say, so much inclined in that idea that I'm going to ignore what price is currently doing. Now, here's my narrative right here. If for some reason we do value the midpoint of this week, daily week right here, I would want to see that week act as resistance, meaning it's more like a break and retest of a support, turn resistance, and probably sending price lower to my objective. But as long as we stay above that midpoint and keep rejecting it, I would want to see price trade higher, and probably dig in to the quadrants of this fair value gap and probably midpoint of this week. So that's going to be my idea. As long as we do not validate that midpoint. If we do validate that, definitely I would want to see price trade back. Not necessarily my objective right now. We might get that on Monday next week, but at least the quadrants of this week will be an objective instance. So that's basically it for today, guys. To have a nice day. Yeah, stay safe, and I'll be